Hello guys, we got a little bit of spraying to do today, so I'm going to take you along with, hopefully show you guys some action this time. But it's pretty hazy out. It's been the last today and yesterday. I don't know if you can see it out in the distance. According to our weather app, that is smoke from Quebec drifting in. And that's pretty crazy because we're here in southeast Michigan. That's a long way for smoke to go. What I'm doing today is I'm revisiting a field I did custom. It's 10 acres, it's corn. It got the full herbicide package on it the first time, but what it is the farmer hauled a lot of manure on it over the winter time. It was a hay field for, I think he said 15 years. So they plowed it under after that, and we got velvet leaf really bad right now. So I'm gonna go in, I got Roundup and Liberty on me, and I'm gonna go in and toast all that velvet leaf so it's not a problem. And then, all right, just finished up. It's a little tacky, but you can see what we're spraying. Yeah, it's worse up in here and this corner here, but there is velvet leaf scattered throughout the field, so it was decided we would just hit the whole entire field and eradicate it so it's not a problem next year when this will probably be beans, I would guess. So just saving our headache, because on beans we don't have as good of chemistry to deal with stuff like this as we do with corn. Alright, so the folier's done. Look I got my sprayer all dirty. Doggone it, gonna have to wash it now. I want to cover, I did the foliar pass the other day on the beans. I want to cover what I put on that. We did, everything is an Ag Xplore product. That's what we are using. So this is what we put on the beans. We did ArchiTech, 1 quart of this. I don't know if you can see that breakdown, but you can pause the video if you need to. This is a 10-5-5 fertilizer, so heavier on the nitrogen, and it also has boron, copper, manganese, some of your micros, as well as a heavier dose of nitrogen, which beans need. What we learned is beans only nodulate enough nitrogen to produce the equivalent yield of 50 bushel the acre. That is all it can do itself. Any yield you want above that, you have to supplement that nitrogen, so that's what we were trying to do there. The next thing we put on was a quart of KSB. Now this is more of a late season foliar for corn and beans, but I think it goes on, and I think a lot of the stuff in it beans still use early season. So this is a 4020 guaranteed analysis, so it's a little bit heavier than the other stuff. It's got boron, sulfur, urea is what it uses for the nitrogen source, and it's also got potash, soluble potash. So that is, we did a quart of that and a quart of that per acre. And then we also did this, which is octane. Now this is a little bit different. This has a very little bit of nitrogen. It's a 100, but this is mainly sugar. It is urea and fructose are the 2 ingredients in this. Sugar helps your nutrients flow through the plant faster and easier, so that is what that does. We put a quart of that on as well. I think, yeah, quart. That is not going on the corn, that is just for beans. Beans love sugar, so that is all for beans. That is going on every pass of foliar that we make. And then for corn, today, we are doing the ArchiTech, a quart, and then we are also doing this XR5 Sulfur. And this has some nitrogen in it as well, so this is an 800, and it's 17% sulfur. That is going to help the corn out a lot. We have found we are slightly deficient in sulfur on all our soil tests, so that will also help correct that. Anything that the plant doesn't absorb, it'll help us fix our sulfur deficiencies. So that is what we're looking at. Now, at the beginning of the year, we probably could have added up all the nitrogen that we were getting from this stuff and cut back on our main nitrogen source, but we really don't have to. So everything has its full, I think we apply, we fertilize for 170 bushel corn, I believe is the number, 170 or 180. So we could cut that back with the nitrogen we were putting on here, but we didn't. So we will see what sort of yield this gives us, and if we can cut the other stuff back. But it just doesn't make sense to me to cut your nitrogen back if you're trying to push yield on with the foliar. So you're going to lose yield by cutting your main nitrogen back. Still 20 gallons of carrier an acre, just because that's what I'm set up to run. If you're running a post herbicide pass, you can put all this stuff in with that and run it all in one pass, but we don't run a post on corn, so this is all going just in the tank. It does have whatever remains in the tank from what I just sprayed, very little Liberty and Roundup, so that'll take care of any really, really small grass that I come across. What we got done. The way I do it, I did mess up here, but usually I go down and back, skip a sprayer pass, and then go down and back again until I'm empty. I did screw that up a little bit here, so reason being for that is soil types range drastically across all of our fields, or most of them. So what I want to do is I want to have check strips right next to as many different spots in the field that the foliar is at as possible, so that we have more accurate data when we come back here with the combine and harvest, because that side of the field could average 170 while this side of the field could average 140. And then if I only put the foliar on this side, then that could end up being like 200 bushel, and then over here would still be the 140, and then I would think, well, look at this, we're gaining 60 bushel off of a 5 bushel break even, but that's not right. So I'm putting check strips everywhere I can so that I can get as close to pinpointed data as possible. You never run a tank completely empty on a sprayer. There's probably like 15 gallons, 20 gallons in there sloshing around yet, so we got to drop that. I'm going to put a little bit in my rinse tank so that I can rinse my tank and charge my booms, get everything out, because it's fertilizer. I don't want anything rusting. Alright, we're letting all this run. We're purging out the fertilizer, and while that's doing that, I'm going to walk down the booms and get these branches and leaves off like this. I have found that the optimum amount of liquid to run through this thing is 30 gallons to get everything out of the booms that was previously in there. So I just leave my rate controller running. It tracks the gallons, and when I get back up in there, I'll know exactly how much has come out. It's pulsating right now. I'm betting we're running out in the tank already. I only had about 50 gallons in there. It does take. That's how much we ran out, 43 gallons. So shut everything down, idle down. The pump's off. Now flip this up. Take this off. And open that up. That's about all that's ever left when we finish a spray. Not even enough to do an acre, probably like 10 gallons, 15 maybe, and then a bunch of foam comes out. That's drained out. We're gonna open a few valves here and there. We're gonna open this one. That's my hose to my inductor. That might squeeze a little out. We're gonna open this one. Open this one. Open my agitation and my reload valve all the way. There we go. And then make sure everything's closed up. And I can pull this around and put her in the barn. I hope you guys enjoyed coming along with me spraying today. Tried to be a little more inclusive than last video, just because I felt like I left that one kind of unfinished. It is just really hard to film while spraying. There's a lot going on, a lot I gotta keep my eyes on, and once you're moving you really don't want to stop, and I don't have a lot of time to reposition cameras, stuff like that. So anyway, I'm gonna sign off here. I gotta pull my pump on my Liberty, cap that back up, clean the pump out, and then I will see you guys next time.